been a busy month with lots of changes made to Frontier Wars Online. I've made a lot of changes to the combat system and the AI decision-making system. I don't know what it is with game development, but like every time a month passes by, I seem to have amnesia about what I actually did during the month and like the scope of my work. I was supposed to enter the Steam Next Fest June 2026, but probably midway through May, I had like a consulting call with someone, and I learned that you can only ever enter in one Steam Next Fest, and the guy told me that you should really use that opportunity wisely, and he recommended to hold off until I get some more wish lists and to enter the next Steam Next Fest later in the year. And after some brief consideration, I figured, yeah, I might as well just do that. Don't worry, I am gonna make the game public soon. There's gonna be a free public playtest, and I really want to get some feedback on the game systems, and I really want other people to try the game and let me know what they think. I am also trying to flesh out the lore and just add some more world building elements and make everything feel cohesive. I wish I could release the playtest with even more content, but I think I just need to test out what I have right now and then figure that part out later. I'm fully aware that perfect is the enemy of good, or however that quote goes. I'm not aiming for perfection, but I do want to give the players, something meaningful to play through, regardless of how small or big in scope it is. There was a massive problem happening during combat when the battlefield was getting too complex, when there was too many units on the field, or if there was too many obstructions. AI units, when it would be their turn, for units in bad positions, they would just be stuck and they would do nothing their whole turn. They would just spend their whole 10 seconds doing nothing at all. Now, for me, from a game design perspective, this was just unacceptable. The AI is plugged into the simulation. They know everything, and they should not be stalling on their turn. They should already have a decision ready to go as soon as their turn hits. I don't care if players stall and they spend their 10 seconds doing nothing. You can just yell at them if they're your teammate, but the AI units should not be stalling. It totally kills the flow of battles, and it just makes combat boring and annoying. Debugging AI issues is kind of difficult, to be honest. You have to test in various situations. You have to keep playing your game and trying different areas and seeing what breaks the AI. It can be hard to devise automated testing and all that. So it is tricky, and finding the main cause was difficult. There were multiple causes, by the way, but there was one major cause. In more complex environments and in environments where there's more participants in battle, there's more blockage on the battlefield, so the AI has to spend more effort on pathfinding. Now, I've already spent lots of time optimizing pathfinding for my game. It has been an issue that's come up before. It is an expensive operation in any game, and I've used all the tricks to optimize, but pathfinding in combat actually poses a new problem, and that's the fact that the destination isn't necessarily known. When an AI unit goes to pathfind to attack someone, there's a number of locations it can attack from depending on the range of its attacks and skills. So it's not as easy as just setting like a general waypoint. You have to evaluate all the possible attack positions and also ensure that none of the positions we choose are in the line of sight of other units already attacking. We don't want to block anyone. Now, the easiest fix for something like this would be to implement something where if the decision-making process was taking too long for an AI unit, it would just cancel the decision process and then skip their turn. But to me, that was super lame. I honestly think that the AI should only skip their turns as a last resort if there truly is no better decision to make. And I did kind of try playing around with that, trying the easy solution out. And what I found was consistently what would happen is that you'd end up getting into like line battles where there would be like AI units would have a front line and then a back line, and the back line is just everyone who skips their turn and they're just waiting for an opening in the front to move into. It was just super lame. I mean, it's much cooler when the enemy flanks and tries their best, even when the battlefield isn't ideal. If they're just kind of standing around like that, It's lame. I don't want that. That's not my game. See, the one thing that comes up a lot when you're programming AI units, it's hard to use the word AI these days because everyone thinks you mean the other AI. So I'm going to use the term NPC. The thing that comes up a lot in NPC programming, and I guess this extends to things like autonomous agents, like robots and stuff, and drones. See, you can't even use the word agent anymore because I guess there's AI agents, but I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that AI, let's get that clear. So the thing with implementing NPC, autonomous agent, I don't know, that type of thing is the idea that comes up a lot is implementing heuristics, which is a word I really like to use. So the idea here is you devise a set of heuristics or, rules which the AI will use on their turn when they make a decision. And these heuristics enable them to quickly filter out bad decisions on a given turn. So they're not, they can prune all the bad decisions and now they're left with a smaller set of decisions to evaluate. And this way, they're not spending all this time trying every single path and every single route, which eats up all this time and CPU power. Now, heuristics aren't perfect. Sometimes your heuristics may lead to the good decisions being pruned as well. But that's fine, honestly, because who said the AI has to be a god? Who says they have to be perfect? Heuristics can sometimes even introduce like a level of sloppiness, which might even make the AI feel more realistic because sometimes they may make the wrong decision. They might be a little drunk, and I think that's fun. So on top of this, there was some other work done to the NPC logic. One of the other big things I had to do was implement logic for NPCs to now pick skills and pick a skill when they go to attack someone. So prior to this, it was pretty straightforward. NPCs only had like a hard-coded attack skill, and all they had to do was just path to any target and use that. But with skills added, now there was like this extra dimension added. Now we have to deal with like new questions like how do they know what the best skill to pick is? If they have AoE skills, how do they prioritize that? And this kind of led me down to doing some research, and I found this paper, / presentation given by the developers of Guild Wars 2, which is a game I haven't played. I mean, I've heard good things about it. And they talk about this idea of implementing utility scoring and this idea of implementing considerations, which are like a form of metrics you design. And you basically want to make some sort of scoring system that an AI will apply anytime it tries to pick a target, and then it'll pick the highest score value. I would love to talk more about this, but I think it would just make the video run longer. And yeah, it's kind of just some nerd stuff, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. Overall, the game is getting to a pretty good state. I mean, it's always improving. It's a linear, of course, but content-wise, it is getting to a good spot as for like how much there is to do and the depth of the gameplay. So we have the NPC system works to an extent now. We do have some challenging combat, and we also now have quests in the game, and we have multiple types of quests. The work I did back in April, May. The skill system is really fleshed out now, so I can really I can make skills on the fly. The server can just create skills. There's this whole schema for defining a skill with like a damage type and a damage effect, and it can have AoE, and that's how I do the NPC skills. And I guess on the front end now too, there's enough particles and things like that where I can apply combinations of these to make new skills. So the game is getting to a good spot. I'm gonna keep working on it, hopefully. And I am trying to do some more marketing again and making these videos again. It's kind of a start-stop thing. So I work for a bit, flesh out some things, and then record for like a week or two, and then get back into coding. So yeah, I'm starting to finally get more traction on X, formerly known as Twitter. Not a healthy site to browse or really use. It's really a cesspit filled with terrible people, but after like a year and a half, I'm finally getting some traction here. And I always felt like it was kind of hard to get traction on X if you're not like a paying member, because my posts would go nowhere. But recently I'm getting a lot more likes, and I am getting a lot of feedback, I guess, from Japanese developers. They seem to be pretty active on Twitter, which is pretty sweet. So I'm getting a lot more engagement from them, and I'm also kind of following their games and learning some things too, which is pretty sweet. Mentally, I'm not doing so hot. Kind of deteriorating as always. Not in a good place right now. And I don't know what to do. Honestly, I kind of gave up talking to people about my problems, and don't really have anyone I feel like I can reach out to at this point. I'm trying to stay positive, so we'll do that. I really want to kind of just disappear and like start a new life somewhere and like pack up all my things and just leave, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll go do that and go work on like a boat or something.